final public hearing, and the final meeting of our committee. To all of you members, over the last 4 months, we've completed a review of the Leon County Charter. Our meeting this evening has 2 distinct parts. First, we'll conduct our 3rd and final public hearing on the committee's 3 proposed charter amendments. Following the public hearing, then we will move into the 2nd portion of the meeting, which is our committee's final deliberations. During this portion of the meeting, we're going to take votes on each individual amendment. And I'll remind you once again, it will take 10 votes to advance an amendment to the County Commission. Finally, per our bylaws, we will also vote to approve and transmit the committee's final report. However, before we begin, I'd like to request a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, we'll move on to our public hearing. And I want to remind the committee that as a committee, we've advanced 3 charter amendments for consideration at these public hearings. The county administrator is going to walk us again through each of the items separately. Following his comments, the committee will then open the floor for public comment. And if we have any members of the public here to speak, I would like to remind you that you should indicate which amendment you wish to speak on and limit your comments to 3 minutes. So I'd like to ask our county administrator, Vince, to get us started.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first proposed charter amendment for public hearing tonight is increasing campaign contribution limits for local elections included on our charter. I'll do it this way this time. You've seen this item and you've passed it with increasing voting thresholds 3 times thus far. All of the information, of course, you're very familiar with, and it's all before you. We're happy to answer any questions you might have. Given that this is a public hearing tonight on this item, we've opened it up for, and obviously widely publicized tonight's meeting to receive public input. We have no speakers on this item. And with that, Madam Chairman, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you. We don't have anyone to speak?
We do not.
All right. Let's go to the 2nd item. We'll take our votes once we finish the discussions.
Absolutely. The next proposed charter amendment, Madam Chairman and committee members, is the Code of Ethics. Again, you've, as a committee, have voted 3 times with increasing voting thresholds to continue to move this forward. Tonight's public hearing, we have no speaker cards for at this time. And with that, Madam Chair, I'll hand it back to the committee for any deliberation.
All right. Anyone have any comments they'd like to make? All right. The 3rd item.
The next public hearing is on the proposed charter amendment having to do with the employment of the county attorney. Again, ditto everything I've said before, and you have no speaker cards on this item.
Anyone wish to make any comments? And no one is here. All right. Let me remind you then that because we have completed any comments that would have been made, we are going to take a vote on those 3 items. And I don't believe there's anyone here that would like to speak on any other items. Is that correct? Okay, good. All right, as we move into this final portion of the meeting, I want to lay out the final process that we're going to take. With our 3rd and final public hearing complete, we're now going to vote on each proposed amendment. As a reminder, it takes 10 votes to advance an amendment to the County Commission. Those amendments that receive 10 votes will be included in the committee's final report. The County Commission will review the report at their February 27th meeting. During this meeting, the County Commission will determine which amendments to schedule for public hearing. Following a scheduled public hearing, the County Commission will determine which amendments to place on the 2018 November general election ballot. If the voters approve the amendment this November, it will go into effect on January 1, 2019. The amendments will require a simple majority of vote to be approved by the electorate. If there are no questions, we'll discuss and then vote on each amendment separately. And if you have any comments that you'd like to make, please turn your cards up. All right, let's go with the first item, which is increasing campaign contribution limits for local elections.
Move the item.
Have a motion? Second. Any other discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Reginald Ellis,
Yes.
Michael Urick,
Yes.
Neil Fleckenstein,
No.
Will Graham,
Yes.
Shane Hopkins,
Yes.
Catherine Jones,
No.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Annis Prosser,
No.
Jay Revel,
Yes.
Gordon Thames, pardon me, Ted Thomas,
Yes.
Kim Williams,
Yes.
Lee Hinkle.
Yes.
Motion fails 9-3.
All right, the second item.
The Code of Ethics requirement.
We have a motion.
Motion to move the item.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Reginald Ellis,
Yes.
Michael Urick,
Yes.
Neil Fleckenstein,
Yes.
William Graham,
Yes.
Shane Hopkins,
Yes.
Catherine Jones,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Annis Prosser,
Yes.
Jay Revel,
Yes.
Ted Thomas,
Yes.
Kim Williams,
Yes.
Lee Hinkle.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, the final item.
Employment of the county attorney.
Do we have a motion?
Move the item.
We have a second.
Reginald Ellis,
Yes.
Michael Urick,
Yes.
Neil Fleckenstein,
Yes.
William Graham,
Yes.
Shane Hopkins,
Yes.
Catherine Jones,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Annis Prosser,
Yes.
Jay Revel,
Yes.
Ted Thomas,
Yes.
Kim Williams,
Yes.
Lee Hinkle.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving into our last item of this meeting, I'd like to invite the county administrator to introduce the next item, which is the committee's final report.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, committee members. Part of your charge is to submit your recommendations, any recommendations that you might have. Two of your recommended charter amendments tonight are transmitted to the board in the form of a final report. The draft report is included in your materials. It encompasses the entirety of the committee's work during this charter review process. All of the issues you explored over the last 4 months are presented, including those the committees chose to take no further action on. The report's analysis summarizes the past agendas. There's no new information contained in this report. It should all look very familiar to you. You'll notice sections that are highlighted in yellow where staff will input the actions taken from today's meeting. As you are aware, 10 votes are needed to approve the final report and authorize the chairman to transmit to the Board of County Commissioners. Madam Chair, before I hand it back to you, I'd like to thank the committee again for all of your hard work. You've played a vital role in ensuring that our county government continues to reflect the preferences of our citizenry. We greatly appreciate the time that you've taken to fulfill this charge. So on behalf of all of staff, we greatly appreciate this. The board, of course, does as well, and because of that, we'll be reaching back out to you after tonight's meeting to schedule a proclamation that the board would like to present to this committee. Heather will follow up with you on those details. But again, thank you very much. And with that, Madam Chairman, I'll hand it back to you.
All right, thank you, Vince. We need a motion and second to transmit the final report. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All right. Is there some discussion on the motion? All right, we'll take a vote.
Reginald Ellis,
Yes.
Michael Urick,
Yes.
Neil Fleckenstein,
Yes.
William Graham,
Yes.
Shane Hopkins,
Yes.
Catherine Jones,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Annis Prosser,
Yes.
Jay Revel,
Yes.
Ted Thomas,
Yes.
Kim Williams,
Yes.
Lee Hinkle.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, before we adjourn, on behalf of the committee, I'd like to thank and recognize Vince and Herb and Heather for all their support during this process. It's been great working with you, and I would also like to thank all of you for your work today and in the last several months. It's been a pleasure serving on the committee with you. Meeting is adjourned.
Wow.